From ex-President Donald Trump making his cameo, to Jon Stewart betraying John Cena, here are the strangest celebrities to join WWE. Watching celebrities appear in the WWE is always surprising, but who could have ever expected the ex-president of the United States to show up? Oh, and Donald didn't just show up, he was also inducted into the WWE's Hall of Fame. I mean, we've seen all sorts of celebrities join the Hall of Fame, but Trump's inclusion definitely raised some eyebrows. Fans didn't really like him, so it made no sense. But hey, here's the thing. Trump's always been a huge fan of wrestling, and in 2007, he decided to get in on the action. He had this Raw segment with Vince McMahon at the beginning of the year, and it set the stage for some serious drama. It all led to a match at WrestleMania 23, dubbed the Battle of the Billionaires. In this fight, Trump backed Bobby Lashley, while McMahon supported Umaga. And get this, the losers had to shave their hair. And guess who ended up on the losing side? That's right, Vince McMahon. So Trump got the honor of shaving his head. In 2009, Trump actually bought the whole dang company. Yeah, you heard me right. He became the owner of WWE, and he wasted no time making some big moves. He scheduled some great matches and offered a refund if fans weren't satisfied. But this made the WWE somehow lose popularity, so Vince just bought the company again. And because of his participation and great friendship with McMahon, Trump eventually found himself inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013. Now, that's what you call a strong connection. But somehow Trump's not the weirdest guy I have on this list. There's an actual cat on this list. They actually had Grumpy Cat, the famous viral sensation host Monday Night Raw. Don't get me wrong, Grumpy Cat had his moment in the spotlight. But wrestling? Really? Let's think about it. Grumpy Cat can't talk or contribute much to the overall wrestling product. So you can imagine how awkward those segments were. They tried their best to make the most out of the situation, but let's just say it wasn't exactly a seamless fit. They actually had The Miz trying to recruit Grumpy Cat as a co-star. Can you imagine a cat becoming a wrestling superstar? But it gets even weirder. Michael Cole, the commentator, actually attempted to interview Grumpy Cat. Come on guys, are you serious? It's a whole new level of absurdity. I have to give them credit though, they really went all in to make it work. The Miz, with his over-the-top charisma, and Michael doing his best to maintain a straight face while talking to a non-responsive cat. It's weird and awkward to see these bizarre attempts to include Grumpy Cat into the mix. But while getting an actual animal is bad enough, you know what's worse? Getting people to dress up as animals. Yeah, back when the beef between Stephanie McMahon and Chris Jericho was at an all-time high, fans were treated to a very strange, but also hilarious appearance of the apes from Planet of the Apes. Calling this cameo weird would be an understatement. Imagine tuning in to watch WWE, and all of a sudden you see these two people dressed as apes walk down to their own entrance song. It's ridiculous. And not only that, but they also walk down carrying gifts for Stephanie. It was like Chris had set them up on a date with her, which, if you ask me, is pretty funny. It was a short skit, but it was insane, and you can imagine how confused the fans were with it. So if I were you, I really wouldn't go back and watch it. It's just not worth it.
10 to 12 weeks of what I have, and there's signposts that connect the dots. Okay, we know we have this, we know we have this, and we know we have this. We got 3 weeks to fill in here, 3 weeks to fill in here. That'll come. But here's what we're going to get to. So that makes it great.
The list only gets weirder from here though, because up next we have dolls hosting Monday Night Raw. These days, the WWE's doing all it can to try and stay family friendly. Let's face it, their content can get a bit difficult to watch at times. So it comes as no surprise that the company's trying to switch things up and cater to a wider audience. That's where the Muppets come in. Yep, those lovable puppets we all grew up with made a guest appearance on WWE. And let me tell you, it was a sight to see.
Anything that happens to me is going to be front page news. I'm kind of like the Donald Trump of love. You know, everything I do is huge.
I'm not someone who's usually easily surprised by wrestling storylines, but even I was left scratching my head when Miss Piggy kicked off Monday Night Raw. The Muppets cameo had everything you wouldn't be able to imagine, like The Miz getting into an argument with Kermit and Miss Piggy. Though to be fair, that is a very Miz thing to do. The WWE was definitely trying to grab the attention of some very random viewers, and they probably weren't expecting all of their fans to be Muppets lovers. But hey, props to them for trying something new, right? There's something about pro wrestlers arguing with puppets that didn't sit right with fans. And unsurprisingly, a lot of them weren't really impressed. Sure, wrestling isn't real, but there's no need to suspend our disbelief that much. In the end, the Muppets' appearance on WWE may have been well-intentioned, but they could have done so much better. That's enough of puppets and animals, because the only person that can top those on the Weird chart is Jay Leno. Back in the day, WCW was willing to do whatever it took to beat WWE in the ratings. In the infamous Monday Night Wars era, celebrity cameos were the name of the game. But when Jay made his way into the wrestling ring at the pay-per-view Road Wild in 1998, it was clear that things were about to get even more bizarre. Jay's love for cars and motorcycles made him the perfect fit for the biker-themed event. But putting him in the ring with WCW's biggest stars, not the smartest idea. When you have non-wrestlers taking on seasoned veterans, it just makes all parties involved look bad. And let's not forget his awkward and fumbling defeat of Hulk Hogan that certainly didn't do anyone any favors. It's easy to see why WCW thought Jay's appearance would be a hit with fans. After all, who wouldn't want to see a late-night talk show host take on a wrestling icon? But in reality, the whole thing was a mess. And while it's easy to look back and laugh at this bizarre moment in wrestling history, it's clear that the decision-makers at WCW should have thought twice before putting Jay in the ring. Jay isn't the only television star to make a strange appearance in the ring. Snooki is right up with him on this list. The Jersey Shore was an absolute phenomenon, and back when it came out, everyone was talking about it. Snooki quickly became one of the most talked about cast members, and for good reason. Her witty one-liners, habit of getting into sticky situations, and in-your-face personality made her the perfect reality TV star. So when she was tapped to host Monday Night Raw, fans were a little excited. It felt like a natural fit. But things really peaked for Snooki when she participated in WrestleMania 27. She was going up against Dolph Ziggler and Cool, but some diehard wrestling fans were skeptical from the start. And when Snooki won the tag match, the reaction was, shall we say, mixed. It's interesting because Snooki has a massive fan base, but clearly the people who religiously watch WWE didn't exactly overlap with her demographic. It goes to show that sometimes different fandoms just don't mix. That being said, I have to give her props for even getting in the ring. It's not easy to go up against professional wrestlers no matter how much time you've spent in front of a camera. And let's be real, it was entertaining, even if it wasn't exactly a traditional wrestling match. Snooki isn't the only actor who got into a fight with some professional wrestlers, though. Jon Stewart also went up against John Cena. Oh man, I remember when Stewart hosted WWE's SummerSlam. We all know he's a hilarious guy, but seeing him get involved in the wrestling world was very unexpected. At first, he was on John Cena's side in his feud with Seth Rollins, and everyone was excited to see what he'd do next. But then came the heel turn. Stewart betrayed Cena and attacked him with a chair. It was shocking, but not necessarily in a good way, because people were divided about it. Some thought it was a bold move that added excitement to the storyline, while others thought it was just a celebrity trying to make a name for himself.
I didn't know that they were busy. Oh boy, now I don't even know what to say. I'm so I didn't mean to interrupt them.
Personally, I think Stewart's popularity ended up working against him in this case. Fans love him so much that they didn't really want to see him playing the villain. So there you have it. From Jon Stewart betraying John Cena to ex-President Donald Trump making his cameo, those were the strangest celebrities to join WWE.